Hello everyone. Let's continue with Yang Chengfu's 10 essential points. Now I should tell you at this point that we're only actually going to cover 8 because the last 2 points, 9 and 10, relate to when we're actually moving. But we can use the first 8 for our standing practice. And as we said in the last episode, Yang Chengfu says it's all right here. So we're going over these foundational principles so that you have them when you start to move. Without them, then your movement will be far less effective and it won't really be Tai Chi Chuan. So we're really beginning to transform the body by opening the tissues and getting these principles set. Now, first one, elevate the crown to raise the spirit. And you'll find that by the time we're in number 8 point, you'll feel that that spirit hopefully is raising, the energy raising through the body to actually suspend the crown. So you actually feel that go through the body, number 1. Number 2, contain the chest and expand the back. And we talked about pressing down on this point, this notch here, about the sternum, just as a kind of a vector, a line, so that we're just letting this sink down. That's containing the chest. But a lot of people do this. No, we want to have our shoulders well sat, but this is sunk. And then our back expands as we do point number 3, Sung Yao. Sung Yao or Song Yao is release the waist. This is one of the most critical points. We must release the waist. Releasing the waist is letting the waist or the pelvis move away from the lower ribs. And as we do that, there's that slight stretch, and we'll find that the back here begins to expand naturally. Without us tucking in, it just starts to drop and open, and we just feel the stretching taking place in this lower part of our bellies. So that's the first 3 points. And with those first 3 points, remember the hanger, the hook under our occiput, the shoulders drop away from the neck, and it forms this hanger kind of triangle from which the whole body drapes over that hanger. Very important. And that hanger is a stable position, not rigid, but stable, so that we can move and feel that stability as our tissues hang off of that. The fourth one, I've forgotten the fourth one for the moment here. Let me go back a little bit here. The fourth is to differentiate substantial and insubstantial. Differentiation of substantial and insubstantial. And that becomes very important when we begin to move, where we go from yang to yin. But this one, when we're standing, is we're making sure that there's not an excess or deficiency of tension in what we're doing. So in other words, if I'm a little bit tighter on my right side, then I want to make sure that I balance that out so that I'm in this neutral position. Remember, this is called Wuji, emptiness. The fifth is sink the shoulders to sit the elbows. I was a little bit off. I talked about loosening the shoulders and relaxing the shoulders in the last one. It's actually sink the shoulders to sit the elbows. But the point is still the same. We want the scapula to go down and then to sit the elbows. And we left it there. And by the way, this is a great practice. I mean, if you just went to the first 3 points, you'd be way ahead of the game. Now I'm going to go back so you see my full body. We want the feet parallel, second toe pointing forward, the knees over the feet, the center of the feet. We want to feel our whole body pressurize the feet. Not forcing, but by dropping down, by relaxing the waist, we feel that pressure. Remember, we raised our shoulders and then we sink our shoulders, and then the elbows, with practice, we don't want to force our elbows out. With practice, the elbows naturally sink and we feel that connection with the ground. And we stay here and we continually relax. We're continually differentiating. meaning that we're watching, is there anything excessive or deficient? Are we weighted on one side and more than the other? We want to be even, we want to be in a neutral, empty position, but constantly connected to the ground. So hopefully you heard me there, and you're just in that position, your arms are just quite natural. So that was number 5. Number 6, use E and not Li. Use E, which is Y-I, and not Li, L-I. E, Y-I-E, is intention. Or you could call it mind, but not mentalizing mind, just mind is a part of the whole body energetic. Or we could say awareness. So from our point of view, awareness or intention is a good one. Use awareness and intention, not Li, which is muscular strength. Another way of saying it would be clumsy strength. This is so key to Tai Chi Chuan. We're not using muscular strength. And this is why it's been called, Tai Chi Chuan is called Chinese boxing, why it's been called mysterious boxing. It's a kind of a mystery. How can we possibly move a person, use our energy, express our energy, project energy, fa jian, or project power? How can we fa jian without using muscular strength? And this is the great mystery. And it all begins in the standing posture, where we're not using any force, but we're using our E, our intention, our awareness, and we let that awareness soak into the body. We let everything sink down and relax. And what we're doing is we're preparing the body for when we begin to move. We're preparing the body to open the tissues and the energy channels so that we can then express energy through them. Without which, if our shoulders are up like this, we cannot get the energy through. Yes, we can use muscular force. We can always do that, and people do. Even trained Tai Chi practitioners use it as a default position because they don't trust. They don't trust the awareness or the intention, and that is actually doing the work. So it's a huge leap, a counterintuitive leap for us to move into this Tai Chi Chuan space. So use E and not Li. So it's like Yong, I was trying to remember the Chinese, Yong E, Bu Yong Li. We need awareness, we don't need muscular force or clumsy strength. So that's very important. So the way that works practically is, again, we get into our standing position. Again, we just go through the checklist. Elevate the crown, contain the chest, relax the waist, differentiate substantial and insubstantial, sink the shoulders to sit the elbows. Use E and not Li. And just listen into the body. Number 7 is coordinate upper and lower body. Coordinate upper and lower body. What does that mean? Well, we're now in the ground pretty good, right? We've got, again, let me just show you so you know. We're in this position. Again, we're not back like this. We're not back like this. If I'm here, then my upper body is not coordinated with the lower body. My upper body is doing its own thing. It's not coordinated. I need to be on top of my body. So when we're coordinating upper and lower, we need to be following these principles. Okay, so if I'm in my position, and I'm a bit closer because I want you to hear me in the microphone, if I raise my elbows, I raise my shoulders, then I lose my feeling of the ground. Boom. Lower my shoulders, feel the pressure on the ground. And so you need to practice this. If you don't feel any difference between this and this, then you've got more practice to do because this is critical. If you can't find the difference, then you're not going to be very helpful when it comes to pushing hands or some of the other practices. It's not going to be helpful to you because you'll be able to be moved off. So very important that you feel the ground and know when you're off the ground and when you're on the ground. So you can raise the shoulders, boom. The shoulders now, boom, straight to my feet. Upper and lower coordinated. Elbows, raise the elbows, I'm off the ground. Sit the elbows with the shoulders, I'm on the ground again. Upper and lower is coordinated. Contain the chest. Raise the chest, I'm off base. So contain the chest, upper and lower coordinated. Raise the hands. That's more subtle. Raise the hands, boom, I'm lost. Relax the hands, sink the hands, make sure the hands are downwards, connected with the feet. Don't want to be like this, want to be connected to the feet. Now, if you're a master, you know, Yang Chengfu was like this, but he was connected. It's all about that connection. Upper and lower must be coordinated. Again, elevate the crown, everything is sunk, I'm feeling it on my feet. If I don't, when I start to move and my shoulder goes like this in that first Tai Chi movement, then I've lost, I'm disconnected. I must stay connected at all times so that every movement in my Tai Chi Chuan, every movement, I must be feeling the ground. Every movement, the upper body and the lower body completely coordinated. Boom, I'm lost. Boom, I'm lost. Boom, I'm lost. Connected, connected, connected. I want to feel that connection. And we learn to feel that connection in this standing meditation, because once we go into movement, we've got a lot to think about with movement. Well, put my hands here, put my hands here, put my hands there. And if we're not established habitually in this standing meditation, then we're going to be lost. And, you know, so we want to establish the good habits. And when you're sitting at your computer, again, all these foundational principles are very important for movement as well. You know, you don't want to be like this at your computer. You want to be shoulders down. You don't want to be slouched in your computer. You want to have the head suspended from above so that you can be here, so that you are connected. You want to have your feet on the ground, even though you're sitting, and you want to feel yourself through the body, and you want to be relaxing the waist so that your back doesn't compress, which causes a lot of back problems. You want to have that back open so it gets some decompression. The final point, point 8, is internal and external coordinate. Internal and external coordinate. Now what this means is, it's kind of very similar to use E and not Li. We transform from the inside out. If we use external force, we won't transform the inside. But if we transform the inside, then the outside will be transformed as well. So coordinate, or internal and external, must be coordinated. So we always work from the inside out. So let's go back to these principles. Elevate the crown. Now, once we're working internally, by the way, once we've got that internal, we feel that stretch and we're working, the tissues are draping off of our body. The bones are floating, so we're not collapsed, but the tissues are down and sinking down. Once we are feeling that, as we go down, then the spirit, the energy, rises and suspends the head. Then you start to feel that, and then the head becomes effortless. At first, it's just like we're trying to elevate the crown and we're using force, and that's difficult, stretching the neck a little bit, but at least getting a sense of where it is. But when you really sink, then suddenly, it's floating. I don't have any effort. It's light. I'm always watching it, you know, that soft palate, so that I'm nodding from this AO joint, atlanto-occipital joint, really, where the head rests on the axis and atlas. I want to have that, but I want it to be suspended as a result of me sinking down. And basically, I just maintain this. And I can stand here for the first 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, but it's an active process. I'm not just standing, I'm sinking. Can Can I sung yao? Can I release my waist just a little bit more? Can my shoulders go down just a centimeter? A millimeter? Just something, just a little bit. Can I release my waist a little bit? Can spirit rise a little bit more? Can I contain the chest? Is my back now feeling more expanded? Are my knees over the center of my feet? Are my feet forward? Is the energy going down into my feet? Do I really feel that pressure in my feet? Again, I want to be on the center of my feet. So there's the heel, there's the forefoot, and then there's the center. If I'm on my heels, that's not good. I'm going to have no balance and the energy drains through. If I'm on my toes, I am actually, from a Qigong point of view, I mean, I'm on my forefoot, not on my toes, but on towards my toes. The heel is not off the ground. Then I'm kind of, the energy is rising. That's something we're going to do in Qigong. But for this, we want to be just right on top. So there's a kind of a springiness. If you go back on your heels, it's kind of like, oh, that's really awkward. A little bit too much springiness on the front of the foot. So just the right amount of springiness that we have, that we can feel the ground, the full toes. We're not gripping with our toes. We just relaxed our full foot on the ground, and we keep going down, and it's just like, oh my God, that's a lot of pressure. If you want to take the pressure off, raise your shoulders. Not good, but that's take the pressure off. So that's why people kind of do it. You just want to be patient and let the energy settle down so you're connected to the ground. Let the spirit rise to suspend the head from above. And let all this gross, habitual tension dissolve and the tissues open. So good for your health. There's a reason why Tai Chi is considered a great health practice. And a lot of people just go to about 20% of it because they don't know how to do it correctly, or they're not willing to put it in the time to transform their body, to prepare it for the movement. They want to go into the movement immediately. Completely understandable, but not correct. So it takes a little bit of patience. Now you can understand when my Tai Chi Chuan teacher, Bob Ingle, said, you're going to have to learn to stand for a year before I'm willing to teach you. Just to learn, just to stand. And we would just stand like this for a long time. But all with the idea of, as Bob would say, letting the tea leaves settle. It's a patient process, it's active. We're not spacing out, we're just letting, oh, wait a minute. You can go in front of a mirror if you like and just make sure you're not like this, right? So that it's kind of, you're even, shoulders are down. Head suspended, relaxed, relaxed. Sink the shoulders to sit the elbows. Differentiate, I'm listening to my body, letting that listening energy, that awareness go through my body to balance it out if there's excess or deficiency. I'm using awareness, intention, not muscular strength to do anything. I may adjust my bones a little bit, not because I'm aligning my bones, but because it'll then allow the tissues to relax a little more. The bones are floating. They say bones up, tissues down. Use E, not Li. Coordinate upper and lower body. I want to make sure that my upper body and the lower body are just coordinated. Everything I do is coordinated, and external or internal and external are coordinated. I'm transforming from the inside out. Again, I'm just letting my awareness soak into my body, just letting it go into the ground, relaxing. Again, you may want to get a mirror because it's easy to fool oneself. But as you become familiar with the ground, you'll notice when you're doing this, you'll feel yourself immediately Or if you do this, you'll feel it immediately. You'll start to get familiar. You'll start to become aware of when your head is forward like this. You'll start to find a position for your head, and you'll start to get habitual with the position to prepare yourself to move. But if you're not practicing Tai Chi Chuan, then you can still use these principles to move better in daily life. And in the next episode, we'll start some basic, you'll be relieved to know, some basic Tai Chi Chuan movements. But please practice this. And remember, you're hanging, the body is draping off of this hanger. And it should begin to kind of, as I said, just really put some good pressure on the body, really feeling the feet. Really feeling that energy go down. It really is a beautiful exercise because your body is getting your attention and awareness and is letting go of the gross habitual tension in the big muscles, so we can let go and open up other areas of the body, the tissues, so the energy can flow through and we can be healthier and more vital. Thank you for listening. Beirush Beishan.